Yo, what rapid combat sports? Mid morning. I figure I drop a quick informational video. I just figured I read some shit. I gotta drop it. I was gonna drop it yesterday, but I might as well drop it today. Vergil Ortiz, Vergil Ortiz, Vergil Ortiz Jr. Knockout Ned. Salute to Knockout Ned. Sandwiches, sandwiches, sandwiches. Aliens. Knockout Ned. You guys don't know Knockout Ned. He was there when I told this female on another YouTube channel. I said, go make me a sandwich. Biatch. Salute to Knockout Ned. Always remember that shit. Always remember that shit for reals. John Blaze CCD. John Blaze CCD. A legend. A legendary figure. A legendary figure in the CCD. By the way, CCD anti-racism. Why do people keep on trying to push this weird thing about what CCD is? CCD is anti-racism, and that's what I'm here to say. I'm here to defend fighters who are getting racist attacks daily. Salute to SSE. Man, if they make that fight, it's going to be lit at Cowboy Stadium. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yo, I'm going to Texas if they make that fight, yo. Yo, SSE, I'm going to Texas if they make that fight. For reals. Knockout net. Knockout net. Yeah. Tigger, 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 Tigger. Salute, salute, salute. The killer, the killer, the all knowledgeable. Salute to you, brother. Salute to you. Skiing, skiing is necessary. Keep it boxing, keep it boxing, keep it boxing. Mm. I figure I make an informative video of or semi-informative video of Vergil Ortiz Jr. as he's calling out guys, or he's saying who he's gonna potentially fight. Right, he's fighting the man McKinnison a week from now on in LA. Right, I'm probably gonna go to that fight. 80% chance, 80% chance I end up at that fight. Right, I already got my Oscar Valdez tickets. I got the Oscar Valdez tickets, yo. Oscar Valdez for the KO. I've been saying it hard, hard, hard. Oscar Valdez for the KO. The Don. Brown gone one. Vergil will be ducked. That's the truth. Vergil will be ducked by everybody. And I'm calling it. You know who else called it? The Don. The Don who's in the building. The Don. Evil Green. Evil Green is in the building too. Stomping on him with a dragon sword and shit, right? Iceman, Iceman, Iceman. Brown gone won a peacemaker, brother. He already stopped the war. He already stopped the war in Russia single-handedly. Single-handedly stopped the war in Russia. A purveyor of peace throughout the entire world. Bloke. The Don, they're ducking Vergil. The Don, like you said it. They're gonna duck Vergil all day, every day, right? Coco, Iceman, ski. Well, like I said, the video you guys saw, the title, it's a hit list. Uh, Nowhere on that hit list though is Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis isn't on that hit list because you know what? They're never gonna let Boots Ennis fight Vergil Ortiz Jr. You know what I mean? This man is a demolishing figure. 18 wins, 18 KOs, 100% KO rate at 147 pounds. Who else has that? It's insane. It's insane. It's insane, guys. But let me get into it. Let me get into this shit. Let me get into what caught my eye, as they say, right? Let me get into what caught my eye. So this might get into like some weird journalistic shit, but I had to. I do read from time to time here, yo. I do read, right? Vergil is a beast, for reals. Let me get into this real quick. Salute to Brown Gowan, salute to Iceman, bro. So it's like Vergil, he will be fighting. He'll be fighting Galen Center in on the 19th, as it's saying on this article. By the way, salute to the boxing scene. You guys read the boxing scene. You guys all know news. You guys read news. You guys are studying film 24/7, like the Don says, right? But let me hit you guys with some of this shit. You guys probably read this. but some of this shit piques my interest, right? Um, Basically it's saying here that it says Ortiz from Grand Prairie and Spence, a native of DeSoto, have been popular draws in Texas in recent years. Spence pulls massive crowds at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Salute to SSC who mentioned that. The WBC and IBF titleist Spence will headline his third pay-per-view bout at the same venue when he takes on WBA champion Yordenis Ugas, April 16 on Showtime, pay-per-view event. Ortiz has headlined 3 out of the last 4 fights. Right, so they're already getting into the article about the man Ortiz possibly facing, or that basically putting the man Errol Spence on a hit list, right? So let's go further into it. By the way, look at that bitch on the side. You know what? Like I said, it's not about shirtless men daily. It's not about shirtless men daily at boxing. You gotta have bitches on the side somewhere. Check out that fine bitch on the side over there, the champion of rating bitches, Naringa, the champion of rating bitches on the side over there, guys. So it says the 23-year-old Ortiz is ranked number 1 by both WBC, the WBC and WBO, number 2, and by the WBA, number 4, by the WBF, IBF, my bad. And he feels that he is ready for a championship opportunity after back-to-back wins against former world champion Maurice Hooker and former world challenger Mean Machine. His name is very hard to pronounce, but it's Mean Machine, right? And this is the quote from the man himself, right? Vergil Ortiz. He says, "I think a fight with Spence will be the biggest fight in Texas history of all time, hands down," Ortiz told Boxing Scene. "I know that it would happen at Cowboy Stadium and it would sell out. It's really exciting, but we have to get there first." Ortiz said that the 31-year-old Spence should capitalize on the opportunity to fight him sooner before he enters his physical prime. All right. He furthermore goes into detail. He says, I think so because I'm getting better, stronger, and faster every fight. I'm only getting more experience, so I would say so," says Ortiz. "I would take those risks. Without the risk, there is no reward. You cannot take risks and expect to be great," right? That's just some of it, right? That's just some of it. People, you read what rep it. Yeah, nigga, I know. Exactly, bro. Thank you, Evil Green, brother. Thank you, Evil Green. Salute to Evil Green. Salute to Evil Green for bringing out the comment, bro. But like I was saying, guys, like I was saying, the man has his sights on Errol Spence, who's gonna fight Ugas in Cowboy Stadium, right? I'll say this though: they keep on saying Errol Spence is a star, right? I'll contend Vergil Ortiz is a bigger star. I'll contend that Errol Spence sold out that Cowboy, or had a big venue at Cowboy Stadium because of Mikey Garcia, who at the time was a multiple division champion and was aiming for greatness, going up in weight versus 100 at the 147-pound division, right? Errol Spence is a star, but let's not get it twisted. Vergil Ortiz is a star himself. The man is a star. He fights for the KO. Errol Spence, you haven't been man down in a while. Every time in recent affairs that I've seen Errol Spence fight, he hasn't gone in for the kill. I didn't see him kill off Porter, which Crawford knocked out. I didn't see him kill off a Mikey Garcia who had COVID and was dying. He was dying of sickness, had a fever of 110 or some shit like that when he fought Spence. And also the man's basically eyeballs are all jacked up because he has a messed up retina. So I don't know, man. It's riskier for Errol to fight Vergil at this point. There was SSC saying that's facts. There was a lot of Mikey fans than Spence fans. Salute to Darkness Has Fallen. Did you watch Valdez Shakur face off? Brother, I watch it all, and I'm going to that fight. I'm going to that fight. All the rest is gonna go because of the Vergil. It's gonna be exactly. Vergil is a big star, guys. Now let's just keep it going with this though. Let's just keep it going with this, right? So I didn't mean to veer off onto that, but I had to hit that, right? Because I read that and I was thinking, why isn't no one mentioning that Mikey's the one that sold a lot of these pay-per-views? And I don't want to veer off into something else, but I'm gonna tell you guys something else. Just keep this in mind, guys. Keep this in mind. Keep this food for thought. Keep this in mind whenever you're seeing boxing YouTube or boxing YouTube channels, right? I'm gonna tell you guys with another one, right? Has Tank Davis, by the way, Tank Davis is an explosive fighter, and we all know he's a knockout artist. But I'm gonna tell you something. Has Tank Davis sold a significant amount of pay-per-views since Leo Santa Cruz? The answer is no. And the answer is because Leo Santa Cruz was involved in selling those pay-per-views too. So Errol Spence, let's see if you could even sell pay-per-views versus Yordunes Ugas. Let's see what you could do there, brother. And let's see if you're really anything of a pay-per-view, a pay-per-view draw. Matter of fact, I'll say something right here. This shit might not even sell 150,000 pay-per-view buys, bro. That's if it's pay-per-view, right? That's if it's pay-per-view. Tank be flopping. We're gonna see how much pay. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's we'll see what's happening. We'll see what's happening. But in regards to Vergil, I think he's a star. I think he's up there. I think I've seen the swell of the support from everybody. By the way, Texas, stand up. Texas, stand up. Texas, stand up. You got superstars all over the place. Let's keep it real. Texas has been coming out with hardcore with some great boxers. I mean, Spence, we got to give him. He's a champion, so he's a great boxer, right? The Charlos, they're boxers. Vergil Ortiz, another guy, right? Texas is coming out with some guys, man. Or now they have a guy. Now they have the face of boxing in a sense, future face of boxing, Vergil, right? I put him up there. He's above Ryan right now. He's above Ryan as the guy who's potentially the future star of boxing. He has everything. He has power, dedication, work ethic, everything, guys. The man literally doesn't say a negative word about anybody, right? Bam is up there, but he's in the lower weight division. Bam is up there, SSC. He's up there too. But you know what it is? Sometimes the lower weight division guys, 115 pounds, they don't get that much respect. But to me, Bam is a superstar. And you said it. Texas, another guy. Bam. Bam, another guy to Texas. Texas has a lot of guys coming out, man. It's crazy. And in future, they got more guys coming out. Texas is a pipeline for boxing. Texas loves boxing. I think Texas, it's right now, it's Vegas, which is in Nevada, obviously. California's LA, some of these fights, some of these venues in Southern California, and Texas is basically where boxing is at this moment in time. Obviously the huge Mexican American fan base in Southern California and Texas helps that. Vegas is also another thing, right? There's a lot of that's the World Boxing Center, right? Vegas is the World Boxing Center. But let me go into more detail, brother, because I just went off on a little rant there. Let me go in more on this Vergil article. There's more from this shit. There's more from this shit, right? By the way, Vergil's a humble man, bro. He's a humble man. Very humble man. Let me get into it. By the way, there's some more Naringa. Salute to Evil Green. There's some more Naringa, guys. There's some more Naringa. Here we go. So he says, Ortiz said he's looking forward to seeing Spence in action and assessing his physical condition after his potential future foe suffered a near-fatal car accident in October 2019, a retina injury in August that required surgery and forced him to pull out of a fight against Manny Pacquiao. In between the setbacks, Spence scored a unanimous decision win against Danny Garcia in 2020. You see, that's another thing, right? Spence's eyes all fucked up. He doesn't look right, man. I don't have pictures. I should have pulled them out pictures, but you know what? I do pop up. I usually just pop up videos and shit. I get my shit together real quick and I just do a video when I'm gonna do it, right? I should probably be more organized. But you guys will see in interviews, the man's face looks old. The man's face looks like a bag of leather, like a wrinkled bag of leather. He looked like he aged 10 years, and I'm just calling it how it is. Errol Spence, there's something wrong with him. His eyes all fucked up. He might not be the same. And even Vergil right here is calling out. He has to assess how Spence looks versus Ugas, guys. Salute to Punch Smollett. I'm sick of double standards. I'm sick of double standards. Facts. We make bets, fuck hoes, and talk boxing. True shit. True shit. From my sources, Al Heyman, Nut, and Errol. Salute to Sergeant. Salute to Sergeant. Vergil should pull up on Spence at his fight and tell him that'd be interesting. Exactly, Evil Green. You would look at. Do we not forget when Errol when Vergil after the Cal Velasquez fight when he was talking shit when he wanted Crawford? That was real. That was real. At the time he wanted Crawford. Now we know what happened, right? We know that Vergil is not like these guys at PVC who supposedly say they have power. He's not like Crawford, who now has power. By the way, Crawford, make some fights. You have all the power in the world. Vergil is under Oscar de la Hoya. Vergil is controlled right now. Vergil cannot say, I want this guy, and control his destiny. We got to keep that in mind. I will never blame fighters like Vergil who are under control from Oscar de la Hoya for ducking a fighter. He cannot control what's going on. You can tell Oscar, he can tell Oscar whatever he wants. But you know what it is? Oscar's in control. And Oscar wants money. And Oscar wants whatever suits Oscar de la Hoya, not what suits Vergil, sadly. I would say that. Crawford, look at Crawford. At this point, why would Crawford want any smoke with Vergil Ortiz? Let's keep that real. Vergil Ortiz is the most dangerous 147 pounder, and he doesn't have a belt. He doesn't have a belt. Why would you want to fight the man, right? It doesn't make any sense for Crawford to want to fight this man. I understand why he would want to be weary of fighting a guy like Vergil Ortiz. Same thing with Spence. These guys are going to be very weary. He's going to be the most ducked fighter out here, and let's just keep it 100. It's the truth. The guy Vergil fighting won't see the 6th round. Exactly. Vergil is fighting McKinnison, guys, a guy from England, a southpaw, March 19th on the Zone in Los Angeles, Galen Center. 85% chance I'll go to that fight, guys. And I'm just saying, devastation. What does it say? My prognostications for Vergil Ortiz Jr. versus McKinnison. Violence, devastation, and a KO. That would be 19 KOs for Vergil Ortiz. Think about that. 19 KOs in 19 fights. 100% KO rate. Who else has that? I think only Artur Beterbiev at 175 has a 100% KO rate. These are numbers that aren't natural. This man is unnatural. This man has unnatural power. This man is a phenom. This man should be thrown all over ESPN. This man should be thrown all over Fox. This man should be thrown all over everywhere, right? Why? Because first of all, he's a solid individual. He's not out here beating bitches. He's not out here doing crimes. He's just a solid individual who was obviously raised right. By the way, salute to Vergil Ortiz Sr., who was his dad and his coach, who doesn't get a lot of credit out there. We see a lot of parents wilding, right? We see, obviously, and there's no problem with that, right? Teofimo Sr., he's entertaining. He does his thing. Danny Garcia's father, he does his thing, is entertaining, right? We see a lot of father coaches. But usually the ones that are most boisterous are the ones that get the attention. Let's give attention to Vergil Ortiz Sr., who raised a solid individual, solid young dude, never talking shit, just going to the gym, doing work. Salute to Vergil Ortiz Sr., who is his coach. I think he needs more credit than anybody at this point for raising a solid young dude and a future pound for pound and face of boxing. Beterbiev is a beast too. Salute. Yeah, shoot. Punch. For reals, bro. Punch Smollett. Notice we always give attention to the guys who are wilding, guys who are throwing shit all over the place, guys who are spitting all over the mic. We need to give attention to Vergil Ortiz Sr. You guys know boxing. You guys see him in different interviews. You know what I mean? Everybody in this channel, everybody who usually goes through this channel, you guys know boxing, guys. You guys seen the interviews with Vergil Ortiz Sr. You know he's a solid actually he's pretty damn young looking, to be honest. I'm not sure if he's 40 or whatever the fuck, but he's a young dude. He's still a young man, as I would say, right? For coaches, a proper bloke. Salute to Punch Smollett, a proper bloke. As I was going into it though, but let me finish the article, guys. I tend to veer off. I tend to get passionate about certain things. And how can you not like Vergil Ortiz Jr.? a killer, a man who fights, a man who goes in for the kill, a man who's out for blood. As you guys see the icons constantly, the sharks, when he sees blood in the water, he starts biting like a great white shark. But any case, let me go in further, guys. Let me go in further. Spence and Ugas is a competitive fight, no doubt. This is a quote from Ortiz, right? No doubt about that, said Ortiz. I would give Spence the edge. I'm not saying he's going to win, or that he's going to blow him out of or anything, but I give him the slight edge. Ugas is definitely a game fighter. It can go either way, honestly, right? Salute to John Blaze. Salute to John Blaze. Can you guys put in the chat right now? Put in the chat who do you guys have winning, Ugas or Spence? And keep it 100. And also take into consideration something else. The eye of Errol Spence, the retina. To me, this fight is 50-50 as it comes still. I don't know who to pick. I don't know who will win between Errol Spence and Ugas at the moment. I have to see more things. But you guys, if you guys have a definitive thought on this, either put Ugas or Spence in the chat. Tell me, guys. 50-50. I'm telling you, I'm saying all of it. I look at that. 50-50. 50-50 is what John Blaze CCD, depending on his eye. Depending on his eyes, Iceman, the selector. Salute to the selector from Canada. Subscribe to the selector. The selector from Canada. Salute to him. He says simple. I mean, Spence will win. That's simple as that. Salute to the selector for being definitive with this choice, brother. To me, it's hard. Spence by a little bit. I'm leaning that way, SSC. I'm leaning that way. But the eye thing does got me, and something is off about his face. I'm not gonna lie. He looked like he aged. Spence looks like he aged fucking 10 years. Press 1. Salute. Errol Easy Sergeant. Yo, so we're getting a lot of Errol in here. I don't think a lot of guys are giving Ugas a chance or giving him that they're just saying it's gonna be close, right? I'm with you guys. To me, it's a 50-50 fight. It's a 50-50 fight, but the reason I'm saying it's 50-50 is because of the eye. I don't trust that shit. I don't think you can come back from an eye injury, a retina injury that even Abner Modis has still had. He still can't even come back from it, man. I can't even think of any fighter who's come back from that type of injury before. It's wild. Spence also sounds like he's slurring. His words. Thank you, brother. The selector. It's his words in the interview. It's his facial expression. It's everything. It's to me, he's not the same. He's not man down. I don't see it no more. I don't see it no more. He's very vulnerable. He's very vulnerable. Salute to the selector. The Don got Ugas. This is very powerful. The Don is probably undefeated from what I've seen on these predictions. He picked Castaño, which should have won. He's picked various guys. He predicted Ryan would come back this year at 100, at 135, and he would make big waves in boxing this year, and it seems like that's happening. This is a very powerful indication right here with the Don Ugas. Don is going Ugas, guys. Ugas. He's the first right now that's going hard with Ugas, right? Let me see. Did I miss anybody who said Ugas? No, right now the Don's saying at 100, bro. What Tim Tszyu, what's his record? A beast as well. Yeah, Tim Tszyu. I gotta make a video of Tim Tszyu. Iceman, thank you for pointing that out. 154 is a monster, bro. Fights like his dad. I gotta make a video. I did not miss your comment, Iceman. I will look into Tim Tszyu and making the video of Tim Tszyu. I predict the snooze fest. Ugas has to KO to win, or he lose on the card. Spence is the house favorite. The one thing I do know is Spence knows how to keep his distance. Spence knows how to make the fight boring. That's why I'm never too excited in his recent Spence fights. All this man down shit doesn't exist. He's not going in for the kill no more. He's just keeping his distance. He's keeping the 1-2. The man is a master of distance. The man can make the fight boring and basically ink out the win. But he's going against a man, Ugas from Cuba, who can do the same thing. It might be a fucking snooze fest, like the man right here is saying. On the back foot, guys. Let me go into the rest of it, because You know, Vergil is a very humble human being, and you will see this in the rest of his comments. The rest of the comments regarding the whole thing, right? Indications and shit, I guess. Here we go, guys. So he goes, in April 2020, Ortiz said that he would be ready to fight Spence by 2022. By the way, what year is this? It's 2022, guys. It's 2022. All right. He said that it could have the chance to be he could have the chance to beat Spence while his opponent was still in his prime. In March 2021 interview with Boxing Scene, salute to the Boxing Scene, Ortiz said that he had envisioned a future fight with Spence at 154 pounds. So I guess he's already thinking of the 154-pound weight class. Salute to Iceman for bringing out Tim Tszyu, who's a 154 killer. Errol and I used to be teammates. See, this is what I like about Vergil Ortiz. He's not a shit talker. He's a real dude. Check this out, guys. Errol and I used to be teammates. Ortiz said at the time, "We are cool. There's no bad blood between us. We're cool, but it's not like we talk all the time or anything. We know there's a potential for a fight between us one day. It's not a bad relationship." You see? Salute to Beer Bog Boston community. Yes, it is Pog season. Salute to all the Pogs. Salute to all the Pogs out there, guys. If you guys don't like Pogs, I don't know what you guys are all about. Salute to all the Pogs. But like I was saying, you see, the way this man Vergil Ortiz words things, he's not a very fucking savage individual, or he's not a piece of shit scumbag. He's very humble. He's even saying Errol was his teammate in a sense, probably when he was a kid. I think there's a 8-year separation between them, and he's not calling him out on some like hardcore aggressive I'm gonna slap your mother type of shit, right? He's not out here jumping off the fucking car like Larry Holmes and shit. Larry Holmes double jump kick on fucking who was it? Blood Green, I think, off the fucking limousine. He's out here just calling him out in a manner that is his personality, right? Another thing, I like when boxers keep their personality, right? They don't do something that's out of their characteristic or out of their personality. If Vergil was out here going on some thug life shit, we'd know that he's acting different, right? If he came out with the chain, if he came out with like a fucking dog chain or a Cuban link and shit, a fucking AK-47 in a video calling out motherfuckers, we know something. We would know something is out of character, right? So I like that Vergil stays in character. I like when he calls guys out, he stays in character. He stays the humble individual he is. And like I said, to me, Selector, I heard what you said. I got Vergil beating Spence. And I got Vergil cleaning out the entire 147-pound division. Now, my only caveat is this. Will these fights happen? I have him KOing McKinnison on March 19th. A southpaw from the British Isles, as they say. UK stand up. But will he get the Spence fight? Will he get the Crawford fight? Will he get any of these fights? It's up to Golden Boy. It's up to PBC. It's up to Crawford, who himself is his own man at this point. Vergil is a draw. We all know the Mexican fighter versus the American black fighter. In this case, they're both Americans, but one is Mexican American descent. We all know that's one of the biggest draws in boxing, period. When it happens, it cracks off. These fights have to happen. Vergil's there. Vergil is there for this fight. By the way, an interesting fact, guys, notice the 147-pound division has not had a Mexican American or Mexican in it to represent. And that cause, meaning you can usually make a big fight with an American fighter and a Mexican American fighter, mainly, moreover, a black American fighter. It usually tends to make a big ass event, right? Recently at 147, there hasn't really been a representative to represent or to be that A side or high A or B side in one of these fights. That's why when Mikey Garcia jumped up, a lot of tickets were sold because finally it took somebody to make that representative at 147 pounds from the Mexican or Mexican American side. Remember though, controversy and character, it does sell, but you cannot get out of character. So that's why sometimes you just gotta, like, the man Canelo stays in character, right? He stays in character. He hasn't lashed out. He's not out here wilding. He's not here doing things. Sometimes if you stay in character, if people know who you are, they will back you, right? What is your my Valdez prediction is Valdez by KO in the 11th. Selector, I got the Vegas tickets already. I'm ready for that. I'm ready to go. And I got Valdez. I got upwards of $1,200 in bets for Valdez out here, man. Pitbull versus Gamboa will be a tune-up real test. No, Pitbull will knock out Gamboa punch. You know it. You know boxing. Punch Smollett, you know boxing. You know that Pitbull will knock out Gamboa, bro. Vergil, don't duck him. For reals, brother. For reals. It's gonna be interesting to see if they duck Vergil, brother. It's gonna be very interesting. Last one was Jose Benavidez, and he was exactly, brother. Thank you, SSC. SSC knows boxing. He was all right. He wasn't. I mean, he got shot, right? He was shot in the streets. They shot his leg. He wasn't all there, right? But you see, no one noticed this. It's been a while since 147 had that character, I would say, right? A character. Because boxing is almost like if we look at boxing and matchups, it's almost like a movie, right? And you want a cast of characters. Like the selector pointed out, sometimes you want a guy who has a lot of personality, who makes a lot of ruckus, right? You want guys who are different characters and different characters with different backgrounds, right? At 147, the character that's been missing is the Mexican American or Mexican character to pull that wave of fan base. All right, we've had Errol Spence there, you've had Crawford, you've had Porter, you've had Ugas. You know what I mean? You had a myriad of fighters, but you didn't have that Mexican character or that Mexican American character to bring in that draw, to bring in that force, to bring in that 1-2 punch. What's the 1-2 punch? Mayweather, De La Hoya, right? That type of shit. What we got? Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez, right? That's why Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez is such a prime fight. That's why so many guys are interested in it. It's that Mexican guy, man, versus a Black American. In this case, by the way, Shakur Stevenson, stop denying your Puerto Rican roots, brother. You're a Puerto Rican too, brother. Stop denying your Puerto Rican roots. In any case, like I said, at 147, that character hasn't existed in recent years. It hasn't existed in recent years. Who has come to fill in that vacuum? Vergil Ortiz Jr. Rep it, Canelo skill set. You're right. He's golden boy. That's his character. Facts. Gamboa is finished. There it is, brother. What you think about Canelo versus Bivol fight? To me, I hate to break it to you guys, and this is like I said, a lot of guys out here think that Canelo's the number one guy I go for, right? No, I just call shit. My guy is Manuel Navarrete. That's the number one guy I'll go for. I was even going hard for Ray Martinez, right? But just calling it how it is easy work for Canelo, man. It's sickening to me. It's sickening to me that people think that I would say mainly Canelo haters, to be honest. They think that one of these guys is gonna do Canelo dirty. It's gonna be hard for anybody to beat him at 175, even, man. Just look at the man. He's in his physical prime. I keep on using the example of this. Canelo, when he fought Mayweather, he was going 50 miles an hour on the train, right? He was a train going 50 miles an hour. Then he beat Lara. He was going 70. You know what I mean? Then he beat Triple G. He was going 120, right? Then he started cleaning out the 168 division. Man, the man went from 175, 200 miles to 300 miles, 500. He's a 500 mile an hour train right now going downhill. And if you jump in front of him, you're going to get run over. If you jump in front of the Canelo train right now at his peak violence, his peak ability, his peak boxing knowledge, you're gonna get run over. Bevo's just another guy that's gonna get hit, and it's sad for him. He's going into the train that's going 500 miles an hour downhill, named as Canelo Alvarez right now. This is the time you don't want to fight Canelo Alvarez. De La Hoya was the last one. Facts. This is the time you do not want to fight Canelo Alvarez, guys. I hate to say it. Canelo versus Beterbiev is the only fight. There it is. I like that fight myself. Another guy who has a high KO rate. Another guy who has a high KO rate. 100% KO rate for Artur Beterbiev. That's another intriguing fight. But right now, these guys are being fed the Canelo, and it's sad. Like, he's on another level. You just got to admit it. The man Canelo's on another level right now. That's the problem. You know what I mean? I envision Vergil being the same, right? I envision Vergil getting to that level. I envision Vergil being that phase. He has all the work ethic, he has the KO power, and he's in a prime division, 147. And as you heard it earlier in the little article about the boxing scene, salute to the boxing scene. They already have plans of making this man a 154 pounder. So it won't be long before you see Vergil Ortiz at 154 pounds. To me, Vergil Ortiz is just the epitome of boxing. It's just the epitome of boxing, or how a boxer should be. Hopefully the fights are made, and this is on De La Hoya to make this fight. By the way, De La Hoya, for all the shit we gave him, for all the fucking comedy we gave him, right? John Blaze says, by the way, John Blaze says Beterbiev chin suspect. I did see him down once, so that will be something that will be something when they do fight, if they do fight, right? What was I going to say, guys? In regards to everything, like I was saying, Vergil Ortiz is the future face of boxing. And again, I gotta salute Oscar De La Hoya. He has a stable of guys that are stars and shit, right? By the way, salute to Blair the Flair Cobb, who will be on the undercard. Blair the Flair Cobb will be fighting Rocha on the undercard at 147 pounds. If you guys haven't seen the man's story, Blair the Flair Cobb has an interesting life story and background. You guys Google Blair the Flair Cobb, look at his interviews, and you guys will see an interesting man, a very boisterous man, a guy who knows how to promote himself. He will be on the undercard of the Vergil Ortiz Mickelson fight, which happens March 19th. Golden Boy Promotions has a lot of guys coming up, guys. I hate to say it. They got Zurdo, they got Vergil Ortiz, they got Ryan Garcia, they got promising acts. They got, obviously, Jaime Munguia. Salute to Golden Boy Promotions for fucking resurrecting like the Undertaker. Coming from the grave. And seemingly going to the top. If these fighters do what they are basically prognosticated to do, fucking Golden Boy is going to be on another fucking wave, guys. Crazy shit. Valdez said he will aim for a chess match against Shakur. Salute to Tigger. I hope it's something of a mix between a chess match and a rugged offense of violence. Rough him up like Salido roughed up Lomachenko. That type of shit. That's the type of shit that I hope is seen. You got to mix it up with the stiff jab and obviously violence, because Shakur Stevenson is still untested, in my opinion. Salute to Killer Be Killed. Killer Be Killed. One of the hardest names, probably the hardest name on YouTube, period. Killer Be Killed. We all know who it is. Killer Be Killed. CCD, salute, brother. Pounds. Salute to Pounds. Sharks in the water. Blood in the water. Blood in the water. Pounds. Who's gonna be at the Vergil fight? Salute to you, brother. And the whole chat. Salute to Pounds. He says salute to you and the whole chat. But like I was saying, guys, this man, I hope he's not ducked, and I hope they make all these fights. He is the missing piece at 147. The missing piece is that Mexican fighter, that Mexican American fighter that is the draw. You had a kind of peek into it when Mikey jumped up. When Mikey jumped up into that division, it was the Mexican versus the Black American fighter, and again, that draw existed. They sold out that Dallas Cowboys, or they sold a lot of tickets in that Dallas Cowboys stadium. Vergil Ortiz is that draw that is missing, and the missing link at the 147-pound division. I do like Conor Benn, by the way. I do like the way Conor Benn fights. That's another video for another day. I like attacking style fighters. I like attacking style fighters. That's why you constantly see titles on here like Out for Blood, Blood in the Water. Salute to Killer Be Killed for the Out for Blood. Blood in the water and all this violence, because that's what people want to see. They want to see violence and guys who go in for the kill. We don't want to see pity patters. I can't stand this shit. It really is boring. I'm being serious. I mean, we all like the sweet science, but there's something to it when they say hit and not get hit. But what happens is now guys are not getting hit, not getting hit, not getting hit, not getting hit, not getting hit. That's not sweet science. That's what you call running. That's what you call running, and this is despicable for the eyes. It's despicable for the eyes and the fans. I can't stand it. I can't stand it, guys. I can't stand it. But hopefully, like I said, Vergil Ortiz, the most humble 147-pounder I've seen in recent years, man. Because a lot of these young guys, they get their brains washed real fast, right? You know what I'm saying? They start seeing themselves on YouTube. They start seeing themselves getting interviewed. They go to these fights. Guys start ball washing them. You know what I mean? They got bitches all around, walking all over the round. They got big booty bitches shaking their ass in their face. You know what I mean? They start getting distracted. They get themselves a nice Ferrari, or a nice Shelby Mustang, or whatever the case you want. You know what I mean? And it can become distracting. You can turn into something that you're not. Beware of Adrian Broner. The man was a beast, and then he turned into about billions, and shit went off the rails, right? So hopefully this guy Vergil, I mean, he has a father. He has a father as a coach who keep him in place, right? If all things keep on the same trail, this man should be who we think he is. And again, I have him beating Spence. That's just my prognostication. I do not think Spence is who he is or who he was. Crawford will be an interesting fight. To me, that's a 50-50 because of the young Vergil Ortiz. The older one, shit, I don't know, man. In coming years, Vergil might be unbeatable, to be honest. But right now, all these fights would be mega fights. And promoters, come on, take a look at it, guys. Take a look at it, you promoters. You guys are greedy. You guys want money. You got a Mexican fighter here. Mix them in with the American black fighter. It's been missing at the 147-pound division for years, and now you guys got it. Oscar, do your job. Put Vergil in there with these guys. By the way, Vergil Ortiz Jr. was sparring Castaño. Ain't that crazy? He was sparring Castaño and getting him prepared for Mal Charlo in that fight that is going off for Undisputed, which is another beast of a fight. And another video for another day, guys. Hope you guys watch this on the playback. I got to get something to eat. But I just wanted to throw in Vergil. Salute to Vergil, a man who is the future of 147 pounds and will fight in a week and a half. Vergil's a beast. And salute to Vergil Sr. for raising a dude who's not out here wilding and slapping bitches. I mean, what else can we ask for in this wild world of shit going off the wire? So I'm out, guys. Salute to everybody. Salute to Pound. Salute to Killer Be Killed. Salute to Punch Smollett. Salute to John Blaze CCD. Salute to Killer Be Killed CCD. Salute to Tigger Diamond. Salute to the Selector. Salute to Darkness is Falling. Salute to SSC. Salute to everybody. Punch Beer community. Punch Beer boxing community. Salute to you, brother. Always giving your takes. By the way, don't get it twisted. Punch Beer boxing community knows his boxing. Salute to everybody who's come through. Iceman, the Don who said it here first. He got Ugas beating Spence. Let's repeat that again. The Don has Ugas beating Spence. Salute to everybody who came through, guys. Evil Green, Brown Gone One, SCSC, everybody, guys. Everybody who's come through. Sergeant, obviously. Salute to Sergeant. I'm out, guys.